Okay, Monday, 25th of May, getting cracking with this project, and day one starts with invoices, which is not the best of starts. And if I go into my unpaid invoices list, it's 28 unpaid invoices. So you can guess what my task is today, is to reconcile those and then to go and chase them, especially as we have such few clients. So the places to go to hunt people down is pretty limited. That's what I'm going to do first. One of the things we do here is a product called One Less Thing, which is a subscription product. And George, who works with me, just asked me what is the plan in terms of dates for this month's shipping process. And we have on our board we have basically a subscription run, and so we aim to ship on the 1st. And then, which means we need to have our products arriving in our warehouse the day before, which means we need to have people paying and confirming their orders the 2 days before that, and then we have to notify them to give them 24 hours so they can cancel their order if they need to. And then lastly, we have like a lockdown of the system to make sure that we don't have a system that's not stable when we're wanting to do it. So this is our process, and I just now need to work out exactly what those dates are this month.
Majestic Records. Majestic Records.
So it's 5 o'clock, and should it be 5 o'clock? It's 5:17, and I thought it would be good to explain why I decided to do this this vlog. There's a couple of reasons. Firstly, one of my friends said to me about a year and a half ago, make sure you capture all of the small details of your business. Because on the days when things are tough, the grind is tough, you'll want to look back on the little details. So they were saying, like, if you get a new hire or something, stick a business card in a box. If you send off an email celebrating something, just fire it off to a shared inbox. If you have a team meeting, just take some pictures and like capture those moments, capture the customer successes, the happiness, that kind of thing. Because running a bootstrapped business, it isn't a rocket ship. There isn't a hockey stick or anything, unless you're one in a million. For most people, it's going to be like this, or like this. It's not going to be a hockey stick. So their recommendation was to capture those moments, capture the details. So I just felt like this was a good way to do that. The other reason was that I was at the point where I really wanted to do something outside of work and outside of family life and outside of kind of outgoing activities, etc., where I could sit at home and do something that was creative. And I got into computers in the first place for in terms of programming and that kind of thing from an animation perspective, and working with Macromedia Director when CD-ROMs were cool. CD-ROMs aren't cool anymore. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw a CD-ROM. But in the last years, the chief element of creativity has only been able to come from kind of front-end web development and very sort of static things, and the joy of photography and videography is kind of plotting a creative scene, and is something I miss. So I decided to do that, and also being inspired by other people which are putting out stories primarily that I love. So people putting out podcasts like the Start podcast and online videos, etc., and daily vlogs, and a lot of the early daily vlogs that the kind of YouTubers have not been something that appeals to me. Very much a kind of like talking to a very young audience. But recently, just seeing people like Casey Neistat put out content which is fresh and appealing, and kind of tells a story of an adult life involved in business and creativity and making something. That's just been really inspiring to me. So being able to capture those moments and look back on them is the number one thing. Kind of this vlog is not for today, it's for 6 months' time, when we're getting nowhere. Well, it feels like we're getting nowhere, but actually potentially moved on from where we are. So that's why I decided to do this, and this is day one. So in terms of reflecting on today, work-wise, it's been very much about the consulting business today. That's the way Mondays are. One of the other reasons for doing the vlog is to make sure that I capture my own expectations of myself and keep accountable to them. And so yeah, this is one way of doing that. So every day I want to be doing something to drive forward the subscription business, not the consulting business. The consulting business, it's hours in, money out. It's easy to manage in some ways. The services and the product business is much harder, and so therefore putting effort in every single day is the idea. So I'm hoping tomorrow morning will be first couple of hours will be an opportunity to move the needle forward on that business in some way. When I was thinking about some of the things that I look for every day in order to keep me like on the straight and narrow, on the inspiration path, one of the things I thought maybe I could do each day was look for either a long form article or a tweet or something that made me excited, or just made me like think about things, and curiosity of things I should apply to my own thinking. So today I was reading this morning, somebody linked this up, it's from the guy who's the CEO of Shopify, and they went public the other day, and he's obviously talking about the fact that he was one of the early coders on their system. So even though he's the CEO still, he started the thing, he wrote the first code. And it's interesting for me because you get this thought that every day we do little things which we think maybe would be thrown away, maybe won't. But actually it could turn into something that turns into a company that eventually goes public. And I think that's one of the things that keeps, it can be an inspiration, but it can be also something that gives you that rabbit in the headlights look, that you could end up building something that needs to scale, and therefore you end up being held back. And I think I've faced this problem a number of times. And something somebody said at ScaleConf this year was really interesting to me, which was plan for a 10x growth. So you've got one customer, just plan to deal with 10. If you've got 10 customers, plan to deal with 100. If you've got 100,000, etc. Because you're more likely to work in those jumps. So rather than, if you've got 10 customers, plan for the 10,000, just start to improve your operational systems, or your code, or whatever it is, or you're upskilling your staff. Improve that to deal with 10x the size, rather than just keep aiming for either for the moon or for the floor and achieving nothing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Good luck to Shopify. It's a crowded market.